Hey everyone, this is Blackhawk SC. In this video, I'll be giving an in-depth view of the Cyclops CP-10-Q to coincide with the Cyclops C-Build release. A special thanks to the supporter who provided me with early access to the Cyclops pack, which made this and other reviews possible. By the way, I scheduled this video to be published during my vacation, so sorry if I don't respond to comments as quickly as usual. I think the Q is probably the most unique of all the Cyclops variants, and despite being not a very consistent performer, it's pretty interesting to play. It's the only IS assault mech that has this many missile hardpoints with 7, and among IS mechs, only the Archer 5W exceeds it in terms of total missile hardpoints. Sometime back I made a video on the 10Z variant in which I went over general information about the chassis, so I recommend checking it out. I won't repeat a lot of what I already mentioned there, but I will highlight the one aspect that affects the Q variant the most, which is the pretty mediocre hitboxes. This limits the Q in a big way. As a missile boat, this variant really has just two options, LRMs and SRMs. And good SRM boats has either good hitboxes to spread damage, or the agility to avoid entirely. Take the Timberwolf for example. It has both great hitboxes and agility. The Summoner and Catapult both have jump jets to help avoid getting shot, and they can do a bit of pop-tarting as well. The Cyclops, despite the pretty massive acceleration-deceleration quirks, is still not very fast, and with those large side torsos, it's quite vulnerable in an actual brawl. What this means is that you can't quite brawl in the purest sense. To go around this problem, you can certainly do LRMs like what you see here, and it wouldn't be a terrible LRM boat. But as with IS LRMs, you start running out of slots pretty quickly, which means that you don't really have a good way of using up all 7 missile hardpoints. That is unless you build LRM 5s, which I highly recommend against. So if you don't really like SRMs, I just tell you not to get this variant at all, because other assault chassis like the Awesome 8R and the Battlemaster 1S do LRMs quite a bit better. There's really just nothing special about the LRM Cyclops. Things do get more interesting when we go the SRM route. I think both the standard and XL versions are suitable for the Q. First is the standard engine version. I think it's not too bad. You do lose quite a bit of firepower with the side torso destruction, but 3 SRM6s and an SRM4 will still allow you to be effective on the battlefield. As I mentioned earlier, you can't brawl in the sense that you're able to tank a lot of damage due to those easily destructible side torsos, so the playstyle will be closer to hit and run. For that reason, the added agility of the XL engine makes it my preferred version. Of course, you do lose that durability, but that's a fair price to pay in exchange for actually performing the role it's supposed to do a lot better. So in this playstyle, you're kind of playing like a medium SRM brawler, except with far more firepower. Look for angles where you can sneak up behind or to the sides of enemies, unleash an alpha or two, and then get back to cover to cool down. The ghost heat on the 7 SRMs is quite manageable actually, so don't be afraid to shoot all 7 launchers when you don't have a long window to get your damage out. In fact, the alpha only takes you to around 50% heat on a normal map with double basics, so you can alpha twice before having to cool down if you're starting from base heat. If you're taking damage, try to see which side of your mech is healthier and roll damage to that side. Normally weapon modules don't have a big effect on playstyle, but in the 10Q's case, I think it actually matters a bit. The obvious first weapon module is the SRM6 cooldown, but the second one is a little bit trickier. I choose the SRM4 cooldown to take advantage of those situations when I'm not being shot at and I like more burst DPS. SRM6 range gives you more options when you're poking out of cover and the target may be just out of the 270 meters standard SRM range. I find myself playing more like the first way, which is why I take the SRM4 cooldown, but both have their merits. One final piece of advice is that you need to be patient with this build. You're not the tip of the spear charging boldly into the enemy blob. That's simply suicide and a waste of your substantial firepower. Instead, wait for the match to get close and find good angles where you can flank them. If you're in the solo queue and you have teammates who yell at you for not pushing up first in front of everyone, they obviously haven't played this build or don't play it very well, so just tell them to fuck off, or better yet, just ignore them. For consumables, it's best to take Cool Shot and UAV. But I made the mistake of taking a strike during these matches, but oh well. Let's jump into an actual game and see how this performs. So for the good first part of the match, the first couple of minutes of the match, we're just being patient and waiting for the match to get closer. So here we're seeing some mechs coming over to our left side, and we're trying to see if these two are alone or they're coming with teammates. And it looks like from the blips there's actually quite a few of the enemies coming to the left side. So we're trying to see if we can get around behind that blob. We come out a little bit too early here. I thought that train, death train will be passed by now, but it wasn't the case.
Wow, that guy is one hell of a squirrel.
So finally we have some mechs that we can engage that are in range. Just stupid Griffin, we need to just shoot a couple SRMs over to it. Alright, so the match has gotten closer and we're starting to be more effective. And because we're going for DPS, we're firing the SRM4s and 6s separately. So my left side is getting weaker, so I'm going to try to roll some damage to my right side. So even then, sometimes it's hitting my CT. Because I think I mentioned that the CT is actually reachable. You can hit the CT from the side. So now, to be careful a little bit, because both of our side torsos are open, and our CT is orange. So we no longer have a shield side necessarily now. With the red CT, we're just gonna have to be even more careful than we have been. Really, right here, the UAV would have helped, and I don't have that, which is kind of dumb. But I said that was a mistake, so bring the UAV.
Working on Delta right now.
New target acquired.
See, right here, we're still trying to get behind people. Really not trying to head straight into enemies. We kind of get into this engagement expecting to die and do a little bit of damage, as much damage as we can. Well, eventually we lose this match 10 to 12, but I'm quite happy with the results. Both teams played well, and the Cyclops did its job. Alright guys, this has been the Cyclops CP-10-Q. As always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Be sure to subscribe for more mech guides and gameplay demos. Well, right now I'm enjoying my vacation, so bye for now, but hope to see you back again soon.